What is going on, XRP Army? Welcome back to the channel. We need to drop everything and talk about what just happened during the New York trading session. For years, we have seen XRP move primarily during the Asian trading hours, in Japan and Korea, but in the last 48 hours, something massive has shifted. We witnessed a high-volume, aggressive move right in the heart of the United States trading day. This is the signal we have been waiting for. It tells us that American capital, the deepest, most powerful liquidity pool on the planet, is finally waking up to the asset we have been holding all along. Is a huge pump coming? That is the question on everyone's lips. Today, we are going to look at the on-chain evidence that suggests this US move is not a fluke, but the start of a coordinated institutional entry. We are breaking down the Coinbase volume spikes, the regulatory green light that triggered this, and why the next leg up could be vertical. Let's start with the New York session anomaly. Typically, crypto markets are 24/7, but the smart money operates 9 to 5 on Wall Street. When you see volume spikes at 10 a.m. EST on a Tuesday, that is not a retail trader buying $50 worth of crypto on their lunch break. That is an execution algorithm filling a multi-million-dollar order for a fund or a family office. We just saw consecutive hourly candles of massive buying pressure on US regulated exchanges like Coinbase and Kraken. This is critical because these exchanges are the gateways for US institutions. The data shows that XRP is flowing out of these exchanges and into custodial cold storage. This is classic accumulation. They are buying the breakout and they are removing the supply. Why is the US suddenly interested? We have to look at the macro landscape in 2026. The legal battles are settled, the regulatory framework is clear, but more importantly, the US banking sector is under pressure to modernize. They are watching the BRICS nations move fast with digital payments, and they are terrified of being left behind. The move we saw today is likely insider positioning ahead of a major integration announcement. Rumors are swirling about a Tier 1 US bank finally flipping the switch on XRP-based settlements for their cross-border corporate clients. If this is true, the volume we saw today is just a drop in the bucket compared to what is coming. We are talking about the difference between speculative volume and utility volume. Utility volume doesn't care about the chart, it buys because it has to. We also need to discuss the decoupling from Bitcoin during this US move. Did you notice that while Bitcoin was trading sideways or slightly down, XRP was pushing higher? This is a relative strength signal. It means capital is rotating. Investors are taking profits from Bitcoin, which is near all-time highs, and moving that capital into undervalued, high-utility assets like XRP. This rotation is the fuel for alt season, but specifically for utility season. The market is realizing that while Bitcoin is great digital gold, it cannot handle the speed of global commerce. XRP can. The US market is efficient. It reprices assets quickly when new information comes to light. The new information is that XRP is open for business in America. Furthermore, let's look at the order book depth. When the US trading session opened, the sell walls on the order books evaporated. This indicates that market makers pulled their sell orders. Why would they do that? Because they expect higher prices. They don't want to sell their inventory cheap. When you have aggressive buying meets a lack of sellers, you get what we call a liquidity vacuum to the upside. This is exactly how God candles are formed. The price has to jump significantly to find the next willing seller. We are sitting on a powder keg of low liquidity, and the US institutions just lit the match. Now, let's pivot to the mechanism behind this move, the ETF inflows. Since the approval of the XRP ETFs, we have been tracking the daily inflow data. Initially, it was slow, but this week, the inflows into the US-based XRP ETFs, like Bitwise and Canary, spiked. This correlates perfectly with the price action. Financial advisors across America are finally getting the green light to allocate 1 to 2% of their clients' portfolios to diversified crypto, and XRP is the second or third name on that list. This is passive bid pressure. It is relentless. It doesn't stop. Every paycheck, every month, millions of dollars are passively buying XRP. This creates a rising floor price. The US move we saw is partly due to these funds rebalancing and buying the underlying asset to match the demand for the ETF shares. We also have to address the FedNow connection. There has been a lot of debate about whether the Fed's instant payment system interacts with XRP. While the Fed doesn't endorse specific cryptos, the service providers that connect banks to FedNow, companies like Volante and ACI Worldwide, are Ripple partners. The massive move we are seeing could be the market pricing and the reality that US banks are starting to use ODL, on-demand liquidity, to settle the back end of these instant payments. If a US bank needs to send money to Mexico instantly, they can use FedNow for the domestic leg and XRP for the cross-border leg. This hybrid model is the Trojan horse for mass adoption. The market is sniffing this out. Smart money buys the rumor, retail buys the news. We are in the rumor phase of US banking adoption. Technically, the chart is screaming breakout. On the daily time frame, XRP has broken out of a bull flag pattern that has been forming for weeks. A bull flag is a continuation pattern. It means the trend is your friend. The measured move of this breakout targets significantly higher levels. We are also seeing the RSI, Relative Strength Index, resetting, which means the asset is not overbought yet. There is plenty of room for this pump to run before we hit exhaustion. Additionally, the Bollinger Bands on the weekly chart are expanding. This indicates that volatility is returning. For a trader, volatility is opportunity. For a holder, volatility means the waiting game is over. Let's talk about the psychological barrier of the US dollar. XRP has struggled with the 1.0, 2. And $3 levels in the past, but this time the approach is different. We are approaching these levels with institutional backing, not just retail hype. When retail pushes the price up, it is fragile. When institutions push the price up, they defend their entry levels. If BlackRock buys at 150, they will defend 150. This creates an institutional put or a safety net under the price. The US move suggests that a new floor is being established. This gives us the confidence to hold through the turbulence, knowing that big players have skin in the game. However, we must be aware of the shakeout. Even in a massive uptrend, the market will try to shake you out. We might see a sharp wick down to test the breakout level. This is normal. This is healthy. Do not let a 10% drop scare you out of a 100% gain. The US market is notorious for stop hunting. They will push the price down to trigger stop losses, steal your liquidity, and then rip the price higher. If you are a spot holder, this doesn't affect you unless you panic sell. Your best defense is to do nothing. Sit on your hands. Let the institutions fight it out while you hold the supply they need. So is a huge pump coming? The data points to yes, but huge is relative. We are not looking for a 1000% candle in 1 hour. That is for meme coins. We are looking for a sustained structural repricing of the asset. We are looking for XRP to move to its fair value, which many models suggest is significantly higher than where we are today. The move in the US is the catalyst. It is the first domino. Once the US commits, the rest of the world follows. Europe and Asia have been leading, but they will follow the US volume. This creates a global synchronization of buy pressure. What is your strategy? The strategy is aggressive patience. You have done the hard work of buying and holding during the bear market. Now is the time to be patient with the profit taking. Do not sell too early. Many people sold Bitcoin at $1,000 thinking it was the top. Do not sell XRP at $2 or $5 thinking it is the top if the fundamentals say we are going higher. Watch the volume. If the volume stays high, the trend is alive. If the volume dies, then maybe consider taking some chips off the table. But right now, the volume is confirming the move. A critical warning. As the price heats up, the scams will get sophisticated. You will see deepfake videos of Donald Trump or Elon Musk talking about XRP. These are AI-generated fakes. They will tell you to send crypto to a giveaway address. Do not do it. It is a scam. There is no such thing as a free lunch. The only way to make money is to hold your asset. Also, beware of phishing emails claiming your wallet needs an update. These are lies. Keep your security tight. Use a hardware wallet, verify every link. Paranoia is your friend in a bull market. The wealth transfer is happening. We often talk about it, but now we are seeing it. Wealth is transferring from the skeptics to the believers. It is transferring from the impatient to the patient, and it is transferring from the fiat system to the blockchain system. XRP is the vehicle for this transfer. The US move is the confirmation that the legacy system is finally capitulating and joining us. They aren't beating us, they are joining us. To wrap this up, the move in the US is massive because it changes the narrative. XRP is no longer an outsider asset, it is becoming an insider asset. The huge pump we are looking for is the result of this acceptance. The charts look great, the on-chain data looks great, and the macro environment looks great. The stars are aligned. Are you ready? Thank you for watching this urgent update. If this video helped you understand the significance of the US move, please smash that like button. It helps the algorithm show this to other holders who might be thinking about selling too early. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next update when we break through the next resistance. Stay strong, stay safe, and I will see you on the moon. Peace.